Major Radhika Sen, आपका UN House में स्वागत है. On behalf of the United Nations, it's a great honor and pleasure to welcome you here. You've just returned from the UN in New York, where you received the Military Gender Advocate Award from the Secretary General Antonio Guterres. So I have to start by asking you, how did that feel? How was that experience?
Thank you very much, sir, for firstly inviting me here and then speaking to me. And feeling was amazing. Like, not in my wildest dream have I ever thought I'll get to meet Antonio sir. And that too, when people told me that it's very rare to see him smile. And he did smile while giving me the award. So that was again a cherry on the cake, I would say. It was an amazing feeling.
So you received this award for your distinguished service with UN Peacekeeping MONUSCO in Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, let me just recognize that India is the greatest troop contributing country since the beginning of UN peacekeeping. And India has also been a leader in terms of women in peace and security, providing the first women units in police and also the blue helmets or berets. What, in your words, is the importance of UN Security Council 1325 from your experience, having more women in peace and security and peacekeeping in particular?
When we talk about any conflict, sir, disproportionately the women and girls, they are more prone to violence and they suffer more, if you see. And in such environment, when we're talking about the traumatized women, it is only the other women who can understand their problems. And keeping in mind the traditions and the cultures of the area, a lot of women will not open up about their problems to the male counterparts. So I think it becomes very important that we direct a large number of troops who are women, who can go out into the public and speak to the women and get to know their concerns, where increasing the number of women participation will help us to increase our range in the public. At the same time, giving the correct role to women also becomes very important, I would say that. Adequately utilizing the women for the correct appointment will help us to gain information which is of value. And as a woman, you can understand their problems. When there is no other organization who can come to help, at least being a woman, you can address their problems to the best of your knowledge.
Also, I've heard you speak about the importance of, especially when it's pertaining to gender equality, gender-based violence, these issues, that it's important to engage men and boys as well. Is that right? Could you share some of your experience?
Yes, when we talk about, gender equality will go when both men and women will go hand in hand. And I think in this world, it is very important that we showcase a power where we can tell people that once you work together, a better result could come. Because in a conflict, it will not always be the women and the girls who will be impacted. It will also be the men and children and elderly who would be doing that. So one of my endeavor, me being the engagement platoon commander, I had with me 2 officers and we had 20 women soldiers and 10 men soldiers. And during our engagement platoon, I would always take a team which would comprise of 4 women soldiers and 2 men soldiers, along with a protection party from the contingent itself. So we try to engage each and everyone in the society, from the elderly to children, to the pastors, to the women, to the girls, so that no aspect of the security is left out. We need to tell and advocate for this thing that, in any sector of the decision making, the role of men and women stands equal. And that is how you can, lead a nation towards a progressive future.
Building on that, are there any specific 1 or 2 experiences that you had in the Congo, DRC, that really stand out?
Yes. So specific to the Democratic Republic of Congo, we not just, our first primary role was the getting to know the security concerns of the people, which I tried to do through numerous engagement patrols that I used to take out with my mixed engagement platoon, and getting to talk to the village heads or the IDP camp heads. Now, when we started speaking to the people, we tried to find out there were a lot of concerns of the women and the young people in the society. There was lack of employment skills with people. There were lack of awareness. So there were two things that we focused on. One was imparting the employment skills. For the women, we started with the tailoring and the baking cadre, and we started motivating them to start with, some work for themselves in groups. Like independently, it might be difficult for them, but in groups, with the support of one another, I'm sure they can start with a business. For children, we started for the English training cadre, which was an initiative from our side because we wanted to get a perspective from the child side as well about what they think about United Nations. We wanted to mold their minds because they are the young minds. And for the youth, we started with the light motor vehicle repair cadre. So this is the first thing that we started to engage with the public in. The second was creating a lot of awareness about the people. And we had varied topics. For the women, we focused on their health, of the family care, of the malnutrition, about the conflict-related gender violence, whatever problems that the women had come up with, we tried to address them. We had a group of doctors with us who would deliver them with the lectures. For the men and the young people, we focused on environment, on policies, on different topics of global and the national concerns. So I think this was an effort that we made from our side to engage with the people and try to give a positive change in the mindset to people.
And I think what you've just outlined probably goes far beyond what your average person might imagine when they think of peacekeeping. They're probably just thinking of riding around in tanks with helmets. And could you maybe just speak a little bit more about that, then that nexus from the peace and security to the humanitarian and the development, and I mean, it sounds like you're really, it's about engaging with the local communities, understanding their needs, and how are you able to respond, and how do you engage with other elements of the UN system, other entities in that response?
Yes. So as a blue helmet, you are specifically concerned about the security, and we deal with our primary mandate of protection of civilians. But peacekeeping goes beyond just security. Peacekeeping also has when we talk about United Nations, there are so many elements of United Nations which are working together in a mission. And people find it difficult to distinguish. For them, United Nations, it is an organization which provides them with food, with shelter, with education, and so and so. So it is very difficult for you to work just by yourself and provide the security aspects. Whenever we used to come with some of the problems that the people are facing, whether it be security, whether it be humanitarian concerns, we used to direct it to the correct organizations, because it's different when you see the documentaries and when you read about the places vis-a-vis when you get to witness all this face to face, and when people are looking up to you with some expectations and the hope that I will bring some change. It was a lot that people have taught me, because we were trying our best to help the people out in whichever way possible, and hence so many innovations came when we took a decision to start with the employment skill training and give awareness to people. So it is just the need of the people which pushed me to do my best.
If I understand correctly, you're a biotech engineer undergraduate. You were pursuing a master's at IIT Bombay when you decided to direct your career towards the armed forces. If I understand, you're the first in your family to do that, so a trailblazer. Could you maybe share some thoughts? What was your inspiration?
I will say this was my destination to be. I always wanted to study in IIT Bombay. That was an aim for me, and I had already achieved it. So when this opportunity came to me that I cleared my SSB and I was ready to join the forces, it was my parents who motivated me, because they know I always wanted to work for India, for humanity, and I think there was no best way to serve your country than being a part of the armed forces. And getting to work in Democratic Republic of Congo, getting to know people such closely, seeing their life and trying to help them was just, I was lucky that I was selected for this thing, and I did not want to let go of this opportunity.
What words would you share, words of wisdom or advice to the young girls and boys of India who will definitely be inspired by your leadership example?
I will, the only word from my side is something that I myself implement in life. is to be responsible human beings. It is very important. We all have our personal aims in life. But I think all of us, if we decide on something which is beyond our personal gains and we work for it slowly and steadily, I think the world will be a very beautiful place to live in. And we can see a happy and a healthy world, I would say that.
Well, thank you so much, Major Sen, Radhika Sen. I think your example gives us great hope for a better future, and again underlines the important contributions of India to peace and security, and the importance of women in peace and security in particular. So I would just say, Badai Ho, congratulations.
Sir, Shukriya, again, thank you very much, sir.
An amazing award, an amazing recognition of your achievements. And again, on behalf of the United Nations in India, on our country team, it's really a great pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you very much, sir. It was my pleasure to be a part of the United Nations Peacekeeping Mission. It was always my aim to be there. And I was lucky that I've got the opportunity, and I'm glad I could inspire minds out there. Thank you so much.
Very inspiring.